Hey, what up everybody? It's Moss coming to you with another standard video. And today, because of all the great things that have come out in Foundations, we're playing Burn. Now, admittedly, this might be a little bit of a weird list because while it's running all the normal stuff that you would see in like Red Prowess lists like Emberheart Challenger, Slickshot, Swifty, we're running a couple of cards that got printed into Foundations like Kellen and G2 Lava Runner. Now, part of the reason why Kellen's really good is because we can throw some mana into him at instant speed and get extra cards off the top of our deck, give him double strike, make him a bigger threat. All of this is really good, and it lets us use our mana well in those turns where we're just kind of hitting lands and no other gas in terms of removal spells, burn spells. G2 Lava Runner is interesting because it's just a 1 mana, potentially 2/2 off the top of the deck that gets in every single turn. The rest of the deck is about what you would expect. Since it's Burn, Lightning Helix is there. Because we got in Foundations Boros Charm, we got Burst Lightning, which is basically just an improved version of Shock that if we kick it for 4 additional mana, it deals 4 damage. And Boltwave, which is basically the replacement for Lava Spike. 4 copies of Monstrous Rage to just pump up all of our stuff. Couple copies of Screaming Nemesis to stop life gain, and because 3 mana body, can't beat it. And then we've got a single case of the Crimson Pulse. That way, when we're empty-handed and we slam this down, we get a couple extra cards, and we can just constantly get 3 new cards a turn if we get to solve the case. Mana base is a little all over the place. I feel like this is the hardest part to build as far as the deck goes. You only have the 8 real rare dual lands in the standard format right now, so getting the rest of the mana base together is always going to be kind of a problem. Some versions are running the elegant parlors, that way you can surveil lands into the graveyard, which is reasonable. I'm running 2 abraded bluffs, that way you just get a little bit of extra damage, and a Raucous Carnival, which can basically just be a dual land if we manage to knock our opponent down to less than 13, which is super easy. 9 basics, keeping a basic planes in there because there are some demolition fields that are seeing play in the format. Sideboard, Lithomantic Barrages to deal with the Oculus decks, Twisted Fealty to deal with all of the demon decks in standard, Urbrass Forge, just a good threat against mid-range decks as a whole. There's maybe some logic to not running this in the sideboard and maybe leaning a little bit more into the white splash, or even just going in a more controlling route with maybe running Jaya or Koth here. But that's definitely something to be explored. Torch the Tower to deal with mice and just opposing red decks. Exercise to get rid of big things, enchantments, anything with 4 power or greater. And Rest in Peace, again, for graveyard decks and things like that. But that's everything. Don't forget to do the whole cringy YouTuber thing. Like, subscribe, share, comment, bell notification and icons. Just everything to help me with engagement. And I'll see you guys in match number 1. Alright, match number 1, and we're going to be on the draw. Honestly, that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points of burn in our opening hand. I mean, we can keep this. And as long as our opponent doesn't, since they're a Golgari deck, no, they're the domain deck? As long as they don't get any life gain going, we might be cooking here. Okay, end step, Burst Lightning. Huh, interesting. Okay, we need a land at this point. Alright, so they cycle a herd migration. We're just going to burn them for 3. They're going to gain 3. It's basically like we didn't do anything to them, which is unfortunate. There is an Overlord. Okay, hit the 3rd land. Gonna go for the Screaming Nemesis now. It just seems like the ideal thing to do there. Just playing on curve. Opponent's probably going to exile the Screaming Nemesis. Yeah. Or they destroy it. It's fine. Alright. So now we're really just biding our time. If they're surveilling, we've got 6, 10, 14 points of damage here, which is really good. Okay. Alright, there's another land. If we can make this happen, where it's just... if they tap out, play an Atraxa, and we can hit another burn spell off the top, we're kind of fine. Okay. So they do that, we're going to kick this. Deal 4 to their face. 1 mana burn spell. Wow, they impend it, which is surprising. There's a Gitu. Not like the exact thing that we wanted right now, but it's not the worst. Okay. Opponent plays or impends another Overlord. That's fine. We're just gonna Boros Charm. And then again, a burn spell off the top. This isn't the ideal situation for us, but I mean, we'll run it. Run both creatures out. They'll both die. Oh, there's a Seized from Slumber. I mean... single burn spell. Case of the Crimson Pulse. Such a bad rip off the top. Alright, so what do we want here? Like, maybe Exercise and Urbrass Forge are okay. Like, Monstrous Rage is cool, but it really isn't helping us get through quickly, and it's just such a bad top deck as we saw there. I mean, putting a lot of 3s into our deck doesn't feel that great either, but it's not the worst thing we could do. So I think we're just going to run it like that. Alright, game number 2, we're going to be on the play. Hand feels really good if we can get our plotted Slickshot to live. So we'll ping our opponent down. Lush Portico. Okay. I would like for us to not see any more of the card Slickshot Show-Off. Ooh, up the Beanstalk. Really good. I literally just said I didn't want to see more of this card, and the deck decides to give me more of that card. Now what would be crazy is if they plot something, or they impend something here. Okay. I mean, I feel like we gotta go for this at this point, even if it's just something so small. Like, we're getting in for 5, which is huge. And if they try to kill it here. Yeah. We just give it indestructible. Get in for 2 extra. And then next turn it's like we can get in for 8 damage with those. Okay. So okay. I mean, we just go for it now. Hit him for 4 extra. They're gonna go up to 7, down to 2. I mean, they gotta have a way to gain life here in order to avoid us just killing them with this burst lightning. Okay, there's an Overlord of the Mistmoors. They got blockers. They got a Portico. And we'll just go for the big play. Untap land and burst lightning. Sick. So admittedly having the Monstrous Rage is really good because it does let us potentially get in for like a 16-point swing. So I can see maybe just bringing a couple in over these forges, which would have been a really bad top deck at that point. Okay, this hand is fine. Okay, we start with G2, go for an Abraded Bluffs. Now the thing is, we know that they have Split Up in their deck. Okay. I think we're going to go ahead and just play this. They go for an Up the Beanstalk, draw a card. They're trying to hunt a land. Okay, they kept something on top, so that's not good. We will keep that on top. Swing and just boogie in for 7. Okay. Now, here's the problem that we have. If we swing in with both of these creatures, like, they're getting just blocked on the ground. They're getting absolutely just chump blocked on the ground. I don't know how we feel about that G2. It's a card. And, I mean, it's like block, block. Okay. It's like they gotta have a board wipe. I mean, they've got that. That's something. That is something, alright. Okay, so block, block. Don't sunfall us. Permanents we control gain indestructible. Are they casting another one in response? And like, maybe we shouldn't have battled over that, because now it's like they're gaining 2 cards off of this. Yeah. It does feel like kind of a waste of a Boros Charm. Especially when we hit a Battlefield Forge off the top. Get in for 4. Getting in for 2. And our opponent would be just like 4 points lower potentially. Yeah, there's that one. Alright, well, we're not attacking through that. This Gitu Lava Runner is just going to be doing blocking duty at this point. It was doing blocking duty before this point. I mean, here we go. We are in the final few turns. I don't know why our opponent just decided to go and impend that when they could have just played it and had another big body on the board. Ah, that's why. Yeah, nope. Beza seals the deal for us, and we scoop it up. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Alright, match number 2, and we're going to be on the play. 1 land hand with a bunch of other cards. I feel like that one was right at a keep, but that 1 land really kept it from being there. It's almost that Helix that we want to get rid of, but I think we're just going to keep it and bin the 2nd land. And we are playing against Dimir. So dealt them a damage, which is good. Let's Boltwave, and I think we're just going to concentrate on hitting them with everything that we've got. And it's like, I don't want to give them an extra card potentially to cut down. So maybe they'll just play fairly conservatively here. We got them down to 11. Plot Slickshot. Say go. We're giving them a little too much time to stabilize. And they got 7 in hand. There's no way that they have an annex here. Okay, just go land, go. Alright, we're gonna just swing in with the mouse, say go. They didn't hit us with anything, so that's good. 5 mana. Lively Dirge. So they're gonna put 2 things in, or they're gonna put a card in their graveyard and then reanimate. Oh, it's Dimir? that's cool, I guess. Alright. Swing with the terrifying 3/3. You're going to take 5. They threw a Zombify into the yard. I mean, they can't tap out now. This opponent can never tap out again. We will take the 2 damage all day. They bin that. Play land. Play this. We'll say go. And now we're just going to I mean, we'll let you do this, opponent. Alright. Boros Charm you on the end step. Oh, sick. They didn't have it. Alright, what do they have cloaked underneath these? Unholy Annex and an Undercity Sewer. Okay, so Rest in Peace is good here. These Monstrous Rages are not. And like the Lithomantic Barrages are going to be fine too. Probably better than running the Kellen and run it like that. If we hit that rip anywhere on like the first, if it's in the opener or within like the first 2 draws, maybe 3, then I think we're set. Okay. This hand is terrible. This hand is great. Question is, what do we put back? I almost want to say it's the Lithomantic Barrage, because Screaming Nemesis is just going to be huge liability for our opponent. Swifty's getting in. Okay. I mean, we'll play this. If opponent goes for a Malicious Eclipse, they go for an Abyssal Harvester. Let's play the Nemesis. And we'll just run that out. Okay, so they take the 3, which is a little problematic. They play the Annex and draw a card. Okay. Let's Boltwave them. Deal some damage. Okay, how would I want to do this? So double striking lets us deal 8 to them here, kill that, they'll get it back. There goes another Boltwave off the top. Opponent's down to 3. I mean, they'll bring that back as a 2/3 drawn discard. They can't activate that ability again. And now we're just going to have our opponent on kind of the back foot for the rest of this match. Ooh. Oh, thank goodness they hit nothing good off of that Overlord. Alright, if they have some way to discard the Oculus right now, we're kind of cooked. Cool. Swing. Alright, we got there. Alright, see you guys in match number 3. Alright. Match number 3, we're going to be on the draw, but honestly, this hand looks really good. Like, we can go 1-drop, 2-drop into a case, potentially? And we're playing against a Rakdos opponent, which is surprising. Ooh, they might be Rakdos... oh yeah, they're for sure Reanimator. So we have to outpace them in a huge way here. Alright, so they cut down our mouse. It's crazy, but I do think we need to bend this Burst Lightning. Didn't hit much that was good here for us. And if they reanimate this Atraxa on curve, we're kinda dead. This has to be like the worst matchup for us. Oh no, and they bend Coma too, and they hit a land. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. Well, let's play this. We have the ability to kill their FOMO. Go up to 23. And then next turn we can maybe start to go in just a little bit. Okay. If they have... Ooh. That's good. Alright. So, I think opponent takes 6 either way here. Actually, they take 7 this way, which is better. Alright. If they hit a Zombify, reanimate Atraxa, we're cooked. Yep. And if they get Sulphurous Springs or Blazemire, they can reanimate and kill our Emberheart Challenger. And then they'll be at 10. Okay, they're just duressing us. They haste it. They're at 10 again. Okay, so... block it. Oh my gosh, they blocked it. I mean... Alright. Next turn we draw 3. Next turn we draw 3. We could potentially deal 10 in a single turn if the spells line up for us. Zombify Coma. Oh, we were so close. We were so close. Okay. I mean, we just swing and hope that they take mercy and don't block, but they're gonna. And oh, we just needed one more spell. We just needed one more. So close. Okay. For sure, the rest in peace comes in, the exercise comes in, and I almost want to say the twisted fealties come in. But the twisted fealties feels so bad on the play, and they feel better on the draw. I almost want to say we just keep in Kellen and a single Monstrous Rage. Okay. Gonna be on the play. Oh, with the rest in peace. But there's no mana for it. I don't know if we can risk it. We're gonna risk it. We are not a coward in this chat. Alright, we might need to be a little bit of a coward. Cowering is a necessary skill for us to develop right now. Yeah. Okay. Opponent plays a Bitter Reunion. Yeah. Should have leveled up Kellen. I didn't even think about that. Because then we could have at least gotten something off the top. Alright, there's a FOMO. Come on, white source. Untap white source. Untap white source. Let's go. Untapped white source. Alright. And now the entire pace of the game has changed. They can no longer get Delirium. They have to play a fair game plan. All of our stuff is dead. All of our stuff is just straight up gone. But it's there. Okay. Discard that many cards, draw that many. I mean, they might have some removal spell for a rest in peace. That's entirely possible. No blocks. Do you have a creature opponent? Oh, Sheoldred. Alright, Burst Lightning, Boltwave. Let's go. Okay. Love that for us. Drop the Monstrous Rage. Bring in a Twisted Fealty. Take out Kellen. Bring in the other. Run it like that. Alright. Okay. Hand can kind of go hard. Just get in with Taylor. Maybe go for Slickshot. Yeah, we straight up just go for Slickshot now. Like, to even plot him at this point would feel a little ridiculous. Now what we need to do is avoid... Ooh, they bin a Zombify? That's bad. Okay. Okay. I mean, we just do this at this point, I feel like. Hit opponent down to 7. If we can top deck a Twisted Fealty, we feel really good. And literally the one thing that we can do is top deck Twisted Fealty. If we top deck Twisted Fealty, we get out of this exact spot. But that's the only way that we do it. And we didn't do it. Alright, GG's, opponent. See you guys in the next one. Alright, match number 4. We're going to be on the draw. Hand doesn't look terrible. Like, if it's a black deck, we're definitely going to look a little dumb with just 2 mice and some Emberheart Challengers. But it is an opposing red deck. So we're probably dead. And this is just straight up looking like Quintanoli's list. So we are super dead. Like, no removal. There's a Burst Lightning. Their stuff gets pumped. Hired Claw. Yeah, we're just omega cooked right now. Like, this Monstrous Rage doesn't even feel worth it at this point. Wow, glad we hit that last Emberheart Challenger. That's wild. Okay. Opponent swinging in. They're only at 2. Might of the Meek. It's pretty good. Oh, brother, and they're killing that too. Yeah, we're at 1. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do it. Dang. Okay. So, mono red. All of those come in. The cases are probably going to feel really good. The Monstrous Rage can save our things. The Boltwaves feel pretty bad. So maybe we'll keep the Kellen in and run it like that. If we had just seen any of our Lightning Helixes in that opener, I feel like that would have been infinitely better. Yeah, we're going to be on the play. Speaking of Lightning Helixes in the opener. Alright, let's give our opponent the nice hello. And say go. Okay. And we're killing that. I'd love to get an untapped land instead of this abraded bluffs, which now feels like garbage. We'll plot Slicky. Okay, can we get another untapped land? That would be real gangsta deck. Let's go. Now, does this feel particularly bad? Knowing that we're just going to 19 to deal our opponent all this? Yeah. Okay. So... I mean, it's a huge life gain swing for us here. We're hitting him down to 4. They can play a bunch of stuff and like kill our Slickshot. I don't know if I really care about that Manifold Mouse. Opponent says good game, and they don't block anything. Okay. We'll take that. Let's run it back. Love that for us. Alright, game number 3, and we're going to be on the draw. Hand is okay. Like, we want to play a little controlling here. So we want to force them to make the first move. And it's like, we're going to be... We're for sure about to be up on board. Maybe not necessarily up on life here in just a second. But we do have the ability to go up some life, which is going to be big, especially if they miss a land drop. Okay, so they're going for the torch to tower. They missed a land drop. Alright, love that. Let's go for Screaming Nemesis. An opponent has to figure out a way to deal with this, or it will take over the game. And then we can play Kellen next turn. I mean... yeah, we're just going for it. Let's go for the untapped, though. Kellen is fringe playable. Okay. Sure, opponent. Yeah, hit our Kellen. You take out our Fey boy. And opponent scoops it up. Alright, sick. Missing land drops is rough, but hey, a win by any means necessary. Alright, I will see you guys in the wrap-up. Okay, so how do we feel about this burn deck? Realistically, we finished with a record of 2-2, and the deck feels about the way that burn feels in every format. When it's ahead, it's really ahead, and when it's behind, it's really behind. Seeing kind of an unexpected deck like Rakdos Reanimator feels a little bad, and seeing Domain still popping up is pretty bad for this deck. But it can get through in a lot of different ways. I think some of the improvements that I would make is obviously these Gitu Lava Runner would be Hired Claws, or even potentially the Heartfire Hero in an earlier version of this deck where it was Mardu. I had the Heartfire Heroes and I had some copies of the Callous Sellsword to sacrifice the rats, which really does feel nice on those big combo turns where you're swinging in for 8 or 16 and you can maybe get there by doming your opponent with a sacrificed mouse. But that definitely feels iffy, and with the mana base being the way that it is, it feels really bad too. I do feel like if you're going to be playing any type of burn deck, you need to be playing some type of card draw or impulse effect. So Case of the Crimson Pulse is really nice here. I do like keeping it out of one of, especially if you want to split the difference and run a Kellen as well, who does feel really good. You just have to make sure that he survives and you get the activations. Doesn't feel good if you had more than one of him in the deck, though. I will say that. Past that, I think the deck is okay. The Druid burn deck is probably a little bit better positioned just because the green mana base is more filled out, because you've got the Pain lands, the Fast lands, the Verge, which 12 of those already a great spot. You're running most of the same cards. The only difference is you're running the Druid. Oh no. And you're running the Mouse. Like, yeah, the deck does feel a little bit better, main board and sideboard, especially with mana, but this just has such a high potential to just go over the top of your opponent and end games quickly that I feel like it's a really strong consideration. Is it the deck that I might be running this season? Maybe, since it goes on a little long. Who knows? But hey, that's everything. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And then tune in next week. Leave some comments. Tell me what you want me to play. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.